Mylène Paquette,
Yeah,
welcome
big
to Night of
dream.
Adventure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to come out and talk to us about this magnificent adventure that you went on.
I'm so happy you have think about me. Thank you very much. And
That's
I must say that I was really excited when I knew that you are from Halifax, because I left Halifax, as you may know.
right.
So hello to everyone from Halifax. It was a marvelous city to start my rowing expedition from. Yeah, it was really nice.
Now it really is it's absolutely incredible the undertaking that you did um, to row across the North Atlantic Ocean. It really is an enormous undertaking. It's a huge project from start to finish.
Mhm.
Um, at some point in your life, you must have decided that this was a project that you could start, you could take on, and that you could accomplish. With all the planning, the organizing, the training, the fundraising, um, all of these different parts would have taken years to coordinate.
Yeah.
Um, of all the routes you could have rowed, you could have entered a race in the Pacific or a race in the Atlantic, or you could have rowed. There's no shortage of different routes you could have picked. Why did you pick to row from Halifax to France?
Actually, I'm not sure where to start from because at the beginning, I wanted to row at the North route because I fell in love with that route. You know, I read about Maude Fontenoy, which is the first lady to do so. So I was just like, okay, let's row from Quebec. I thought it was possible at that time.
Okay.
Let's row from Quebec to France, where like my ancestors come from. And after that, I realized, okay, it's not possible to row from Quebec and Détroit de Cabot, and like it's crazy. So I'm going to row from another place in Canada. And at first, I thought about Newfoundland, and it was really expensive to go and to row from there with the boat, with the equipment, and with the people who accompany me for the start.
Like the logistics,
So
yes.
yeah, and I thought as well to row from United States, but you know, I'm doing so much anxiety just to cross the border alone, like with my bag. So imagine with a boat, so with
Yeah.
all equipment and food inside and everything. So I decided to row from Halifax because it was a nice place to row from. And actually, because I thought that the people in Acadie were really welcoming. And you know, Magdalen Island, I rode from Montreal to Magdalen Island, and in my mind the people from Magdalen Island, they are so gentle and so cool people. So I thought, okay, it's the same kind of groove we find in Acadia. So I wanted to row from Nova Scotia or
Yeah.
to yeah. And actually, why did I pick it up the North Atlantic expedition is because I think I fell in love with that perspective to row an ocean less visited. You know, there were so many people who rowed from Morocco or from the Canary Islands.
Yeah.
So there were so many people who succeeded doing the South Atlantic expedition. So at the beginning, when I wanted to row solo up in the north, my mother said to me, don't go solo, go on a team. And this is what I've done. Like I joined a team from UK and we rowed from Morocco to Barbados in 2010. So it was my first expedition. And once you see what it is to row the southern part of the North Hemisphere, when you see it's not like in the books, you know, Maude Fontenoy and Anne Kéméré and all the other guys who wrote books about the North expedition, the North Atlantic row. It was like kind of super exciting because it's harsh, you know, it's difficult, and it's in French we say a word, it's pugnace, it's pugnacité. So I don't know what does that mean in English, but it's like you need to be really keen to row the north, and it was attractive to me. And when I rowed the south part of Atlantic, I was not disappointed, but it was always the same weather. It was the same waves every day, the same weather, super warm, super hot. It was difficult to deal with. So I was aiming to do the north. Yeah.
So having previously rowed one of the southern routes in the Atlantic was part of your decision-making process in
Yeah.
picking this northern route?
You mean, well, it was to please my mother, because my mother asked me to go on the team, and I was, okay, I'm going to do that. And after that, you will see, I'm going to row across the north. And so it was a process for me to row with some people, and after that to row alone in the St. Lawrence River, and to cross as well, to go across on a sailing boat. It was all new adventures to get ready to the big expedition.
Okay, I understand. I understand. And then do you believe then that an adventure to this scale, of this size, is accessible to anybody who's willing to train, believe in themselves, to have the grit and determination to follow through?
Oh, it's difficult to say, because I think at the very beginning I was really naive, and I learned so much. And I realized that I have some assets to be able to do so. Like, I'm really determined, and it's like it's a problem sometimes, because let's say I'm looking for something on the internet, I cannot like, I'm gonna find it. I'm looking for a piece of equipment or something like this, and I don't like give up till I'm gonna find something. So in everyday's life, I know that I'm really determined. So is it possible for everyone to row across an ocean? I think it's accessible, but it's not something really well known in America. So because of that, it's difficult to find sponsors. It's difficult to find partners and to deal with the. It depends as well. It depends of your job. Is it like a job that permits you to go out at sea for several months?
Right.
I quit my job as a patient care attendant during that period. So
Yeah, wow.
after 10 years, yeah, because they didn't want to give me another couple of months off. So I
Right.
said, okay, so I left my job. Yeah.
So that was a sacrifice you made in order to
Yeah,
follow through
exactly.
with your goals.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's accessible if the person is keen to do sacrifices, or keen to do what it takes to in order to succeed. Yeah.
And I think that's true with any goal or dream or
Yeah,
expedition or grand adventure. There are
exactly.
sacrifices that need to be made.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let's
absolutely.
give you, for giving you an example, I postponed the fact that I wanted to be a mother uh, later in my life. So I had my first, well, I hope I'm going to have another kid, but I had my first kid at 40 years old, because I wanted to row an ocean, and it took me so many years to get fit and to get ready and to find the money for doing so. So in my mind, sometimes I was like, okay, maybe I'm not going to be able to have kids because I've done that instead of having my family sooner,
Right,
earlier in my life.
right.
So sometimes I was stressed about that. And now that I have a son, I'm like, okay, it's good. I have a baby. I have a big son now, a grounded baby. He's 20 months. But it's I knock on wood, it would have been possible that I missed the boat for that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now I'm curious. While you were out there, how many days again were you on the North Atlantic?
On the North Atlantic, 129 days and 22 hours. So 23 hours. So nearly 130 days. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Um, During your time out there, that's a long time. So
Yeah.
that's over 4 months. That's a long
Yeah,
time.
it's 4 months and 6 days. Yeah.
Did you truly believe in yourself and your abilities all the way along?
Oh
Or
God.
was there a definitive moment or experience when you said, okay, I got this. I can do this. I'm gonna make it.
Well, it's really strange, because from the start to the finish, for me, victory was just one more day on the ocean. So I wasn't thinking that much at the arrival, but I was like making joke about it with my land team, about the party we will do, about the beer I will drink, about the food I will eat, and we were making jokes about it. We were entertaining that moment all together. It was like something that was really positive in our discussions, the arrival, but it was like a carrot, you know, in at the end of the stick. And it was like, okay, this is the arrival, but today I need to succeed doing that day on the ocean. And sometimes my router, Michel, my router, told me quite a few times, he was looking on the statistics, and after like 70 days or 20 days, he was saying like, oh, there's quite a few people, like actually 5 people gave up before their 21st days. And it gave me the permission to say like, okay, this is a success. Like already it's a success. I've got through the 24 days out there alone on the ocean. So even if I capsize today, if I lose my boat, if I got into my life raft, if I like say, okay, pick me up some boat, anybody
Right.
pick me up, I leave, I give up, it was a success like for those days.
I understand.
So it's difficult for me to say at a certain point, okay, it's I'm gonna get there. It's like if every day I was getting much more further, and it's difficult. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not, but there's a tipping point. Well, I realized that it's all about the attitude that I choose to pick up in front of the difficulties, facing the conditions. And this is just when I was just south of Newfoundland, after 42 days, I think I was not so far away underneath Newfoundland, and I was panicking a little bit. And I was like, okay, I want to go back, because we are actually around like September 1st. I left Halifax like, okay, on July 6th, September 1st, it's the beginning of the fall.
And the
And
hurricane season.
hurricane season, I'm gonna get into trouble. So I asked my land team, can I row to St. John in Newfoundland? And they said to me, it's not possible because of Labrador current. It's a strong current going south, and it's not possible. So I was panicking a bit. It was like a bomb in my head. I was like, okay, I cannot give up. It's not why. And I panicked a little bit, because I just realized that I could not row back to the country. And from that point, and it was really funny, because since the beginning, I just tried to row. I just tried to cope with the bad weather conditions. I tried to cope with the fact that I was leaving like the Sable Island north and not getting too close to the Sable Island. And I was really like annoyed by the Sable Island. And after that, I was annoyed because of the high shoals of Newfoundland, and I was stressed about that. And after all those stresses, I was like, okay, now I want to row back. And my land team was like, no, you get through so much since the beginning. You cannot give up like this, and you cannot row to Newfoundland. It's not that easy. Even if I was just like 300 nautical miles from Newfoundland, it wasn't possible. So there was a tipping point when I realized that it's all about the attitude.
Okay.
And at that moment, I realized that, okay, so instead of focusing on the miles that I want to row today and being disappointed because those miles are not like in my logbook when I go to bed on the evening. So instead of focusing on the miles, the nautical miles, the kilometers, maybe I should focus on my attitude and having fun out there, even if I cannot row.
Okay.
And from that perspective, it changed everything. And it was not that important to succeed or not. It was just, I'm having fun out there. I paid so much of my time and I gave so much of my energy. So even if I don't succeed reaching Lorient in France, I just want to have fun. So that was when it was like if the arrival was not that important from that perspective. I just want to have fun. Yeah.
Right. So your mental or spiritual health would have been more important to success than your physical health?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes I had back pain, I had muscle pain, and my body was aching, I was like, oh, I cannot row. And it was just, no, I'm just going to row. Like in 5 minutes, I'm not going to feel anything. And I remember that I felt so connected to something greater than I was like connected with like, I don't know, my guardian angels or my ancestors, I don't know who, but I was looking at the sky and I was watching those stars in the sky, and I was talking to them, and I was just, okay, protect me, please. I need your help, and blah, blah, blah. And I was talking to someone out there, and it happened so many times that I had a little voice inside me, like doing like, okay, don't do that. And I listened to that voice. And if I wouldn't have listened to that voice, I would be dead. I would be like, okay, like outside my boat, trying to get inside the boat again. Or it happened to me like 5 or 6 times that, okay, my God, if I wouldn't have listened that little voice, I would be not there anymore, you know?
Such
Yeah.
as like if you're when you had to leave your boat to clean the hull, for example?
No, and to give you another example, it's let's say that someday I had to do a reparation on my rudder, and I was talking with Hermel. Hermel was my technical support on land from Rimouski in Quebec. So he was talking to me, and he said to me, okay, do that and that and this and that piece, you remember that goes there, and blah, blah, blah. He was like my, you know, my, I like to say my, when, you know, when Apollo goes to the moon, they say like, hey, Houston, we have a problem. So Hermel was my Houston, you know. So I was like, okay, I was listening to him, and he was trying to help me repair something he didn't see, but he know exactly how it's made because he prepared the boat for 2 years. So he said to me, call me back in 10 minutes. If you don't call me back, because there was like 4-meter waves outside. And he said to me, it's not supposed to take you like 10 minutes. Try to do that in 5 minutes and call me back in 10 minutes. If you don't call me back, I'm going to be worried. So I said, okay, no problem. So I opened my hatch, and it was super difficult to reach that point that I needed to do my repair. And I got like, I was really like this, and with the water in my face, and my head was in the water and getting out, and I was really wet and drenched. And I was just, you know, from the hatch, I can show you my boat. Maybe it's going to be easier for me to explain to you.
Please.
Yeah. I'm going to show you my boat from Halifax, just the day before to go. Yes, I'm going to show you that. So if I share my screen with like this, it's going to be easy to show you this. Okay, so I was just here, so you can see. Do you see my boat? Actually, you see another boat, right? Okay, I'm going to try to figure out how to do. Sorry.
It's okay.
Did you see my boat? No, I'm not sure.
Boat.
No, you didn't see my boat. Okay, so let's try it again. Aperçu like this. Okay, now you can see my boat. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Perfect. So, and you see my mouse as well, eh?
Yes.
Perfect. So I was just getting out from here, okay? And you see my well, I'm not that big, just compared to the hatch. Yep. So my butt was just here, and my back and my tummy was here, and I was trying to repair that part just here. Yeah. And so my face, sometimes every 2 waves were drenched in water. So I had only my feet and my legs inside the boat in that part. And it was really important to repair that part of the rudder, because if not, the rudder was like banging on the boat, and it was kind of really, it was scary from inside the boat, because I thought I would lost the rudder. So I got my legs that permits me to stay in contact with the boat. I didn't attach myself, because I said, okay, if I attach myself and I'm attached like this, I would not be able to unattach myself and to swim in the boat again. So it was a big lock that I chose to take. So I'm just going to stop the share, and I'll go back to the boat later on. So I was just getting out and just putting my hands into that place that I was repairing. And I just heard myself saying, go back in the boat right now. And I just hear myself saying, go back in the boat, go back in the boat. And I was like, okay. And I left everything like this without security, anything. It was just like attached with the 2 little wires. I closed the hatch and I capsized.
What?
Yeah. 5 seconds later. Yeah. Every time I say that story, I'm having goosebumps everywhere. Yeah. I capsized right there. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. It was super strong. The voice in my head was like, go back inside right now. And I was like, wow. And then I capsized. I looked outside. My rudder was not in the same place anymore, but it was attached to the boat. So
Right.
I opened it, I took the rudder inside, I closed the hatch, I called Hermel 3 minutes after I just hung up with him. And he said, "Oh, you did it really fast." I said, "No, I just capsized." And he was panicking, and I was, "Yes, I capsized right at the moment I was supposed to do my reparation." So
Yeah.
it was like a moment, a really special moment. Yeah.
Wow.
Was really and when I got to bed that night, I was thinking like, okay, I'm not alone in here. I'm protected, or there's something much greater than me. Like, how come that I thought of this going back in the boat? I have somebody with me, So knowing that and believing in that, it was much more important. That was much more important, that being in good shape and being really strong and being able to row 10 or 12 hours a day. It was really important for me to be confident and to feel secure and to listen to that little voice inside. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Wow.
some people may call that intuition, or I don't know, or maybe I'm a medium, I'm channeling someone, I don't know.
You trust your gut, right?
Yeah, I trust my guide. Yeah.
Trust your gut and yourself through
Yeah.
experience. Wow. Now I understand when people are in with like a team, it's regardless, you were solo, it's very important to maintain a routine of some kind while you're out there. Did you row
Yeah,
in shifts? Did you do 2 hours on, 2 hours off, or did you row
no,
for
I
8
did
hours a day?
that kind of shift with the boys in 2010, because I didn't say that to you, but I was the only girl of the boat. So that was a good preparation in order to feel solo on a boat, to go with 5 guys. It was a good preparation. And in that first crossing, it was 2 hours on, 2 hours off. So 12 hours a day. But during my North Atlantic expedition, it was depending of the weather outside.
Okay.
So let's say it's super easy to row today. I'm going to be able to do like a lot of millage. I'm just going to row and have fun and put music on, turn the music on, and to row as much as I can. And sometimes I was just trying to do a full hour plus like a couple of seconds, not like rowing 58 minutes or 57 minutes. I was trying to do 1 hour. And if I row for 1 hour and a quarter, I was, oh no, okay, I'm going to row for 2 hours. And if I'm just going to stop at sharp hour, and it was really helpful to do something like this. And also at night shift, it was really amazing. In the beginning of the crossing, I was able to row during night because the weather was, sometimes the weather was okay with that, but during the fall, it was difficult to row during the night. But during summer, it was easy, it was possible. And I was looking to Dexter on my, I was watching Dexter on my computer, on my laptop. So I attached the laptop on my bed, closing the window, the hatch, and I put the music outside, and it was really, really small, but I was watching TV. And this is when there was no stars in the sky because of clouds and a big ceiling cloud. So I did that quite a few times. It was just like, it was just, okay, I'm not here, I'm in another story, and I'm not fed up of rowing. I'm distracting myself.
I've been doing research and reading the books and looking at the trip reports of people who've rowed oceans for years now, for years and years and years. But for most of our viewers out there, they just don't have any idea. Would you happen to have any video or anything you could share that might paint a picture of what the waves look like, what the weather,
Yeah, exactly. So I can show you a video. It's I like to say a melting pot of different things. So you will see my land team work together before to put the boat in the water, before how do we say when we baptize a boat? Is it the
Christian?
Yeah, when you say you give a name and then the priest is there.
Smash the bottle of champagne on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know the name in English, but in French we say baptiser le bateau.
Okay.
And So I can show you that video, and you will see my friend Hermel, who is the white hair guy. He is the one because why my boat has been named after him. Well, Hermel, yeah, because he was so in it for the trip, and he accompanied me for quite a few years. He passed away now, so 3 years
Made
ago.
me goosebumps when you said that. I had chills come up my spine that you honored him in such a way that you named the boat.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, because I didn't find any sponsors. I knock at different doors and saying like, oh, my boat can be like named Gravol, you know, for pills, and it wasn't a good idea for them. So I was thinking about different names, and Hermel, you will see him in the video. He's the one who's I think taking back the stickers for naming the boat. Okay. And you will see me rowing in different conditions as well, and repairing stuff and being mad over the phone because it doesn't work out. And so you will see that. So at the beginning, you will see just a weather. It's not a really bad weather system. It's just a low pressure system that prevents me to row. So you will see my mast in front of the boat, and you will see that the wind generator is not there. So I will show you the video right away. There is some music. It's a 2-3 minutes video. So that's gonna be the little video I'm gonna share with you.
I'm so excited to be able to share this with all my friends and family and followers, to give them an idea of what this is all about.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Really is a special thing.
Yeah, I'm really happy to share this trip with you. Yeah, and I'm happy to share this with people from Halifax as well. As I said to you before, I'm really happy that you contact me and that you're from Halifax as well. So I press on play. Let me know if the sound is not good. So does it give you the seasickness or something like this?
I don't know. It almost made me cry.
Yeah. How do you react? Yeah, it's
I see all the commitment you made and the time and effort and energy it took you to fulfill it and see it through,
And you know, when I
the
see those
heartbreak
pictures,
and the
yeah.
accomplishment. Yeah, I can see it all.
And when I see those images, I am still really disappointed of the weather. So sometimes I think like, oh, what if the weather would have been there, you know, and I would have row like 100 days and I would get there in 100 days, but I would have row all the way, you know. And I must say that some weather permits me to go much more east, further east,
Yeah.
but there were so many times that I wanted to row and I was really annoyed because it wasn't possible to go outside. It was so difficult, so harsh outside. And I was really scared at the beginning.
Okay.
Like a meter waves were like, oh my God, it's, I was really afraid in the beginning. And I got a costume, yeah, to that. And at the end, I was rowing in 2 meter waves, but I'm still disappointed of the weather, like thinking like, what if the weather had been like beautiful and better than what I got through.
Now, just a couple quick questions here for you. I sent it out to some of our followers. What would you ask Mylène? And the number one question people are curious about was two of them. How did you pee? Or the other one, where did that happen? And
Yeah.
what did you eat?
Okay, what did I eat? Well, I was peeing and doing my things in a bucket, simply a bucket. I would put like half of water in it and then going in the bucket. And at some point during the crossing, throwing it away. And at some point the fish were following me. Was some fish eating all the what's inside the bucket. So it was like circular like compost, or I don't know how to say that. It was recyclage, I don't know. And I ate lots of dehydrated food, but it was dry freeze food. So it's in French we say lyophilisé, which was that. It was good. It was a company from Quebec named Apillac, and they were really keen because the company wasn't ready, the food wasn't ready. So the lady from the company, the owner of the company, it was a couple who created that company.
Yes, we know the company here. We have friends in Nova Scotia who use Apillac.
It's Christine and Guy Dubuc. They are so amazing people. They just say, okay, I'm just gonna try to get ready the food for you. And it wasn't ready that much when I left Montreal. So they prepared the food with me. They came to my house and they prepared my dried bag with me. They put messages inside and little surprise for me. They were awesome. And actually, I hope that I helped them as well, because in my boat, I'm going to show you a picture of my boat, because I'm not supposed to say so, but I had 3 sponsors. I had the shoes, the Cushy shoes, BioK. Maybe you saw the picture. It's a green logo. Yep. And I had as well Zoha, BioK, or how do we say the stuff we eat to help our gut? It's to nourish the gut. You know, I don't remember the name in English. It's biosym. I don't remember the name, but you drink that and you have better health and less health problems and issues. And the other sponsor were beauty product, like organic beauty product from Quebec as well. And those companies paid a certain amount of money to be on the boat, because I thought that the pictures from outside would be much more impressive for the media, and the boat leaving Halifax and the boat arriving in France. And so I put those big logos outside the boat, and inside the boat I said to Apillac, because they gave me a reduction, but they couldn't give me the food because they were like starting the company and they were like having financial issues as a new company as well. So they just said to me, okay, we will just sell you the food, the price we get, the food, the product, les matières premières. I don't know how to say the first, I don't know how to say that, but
the very first bad.
Yeah.
First person.
So we will not have money from you, but we will just pay the food and then prepare the food for you, and it's going to be like really cheap for you. So I put their logo and on the pont, the how do we say, the deck of the boat.
Yep.
And finally, I'm just going to show you a picture from that perspective, and it's really, and if you know the company, you will remember them. You will see the logo, the Happy Yak logo. So this is the picture I want to show you, just to show you. You see the picture now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see that one of my light died. So you can see that you have the Happy Yak logo just here. And actually, it's one of the logo we saw the most during the crossing, because I took so many pictures from the deck.
Right,
so because of that, they were super, the other client, the other people who gave me money for the crossing, they said, oh my God, Happy Yak, I'm sure they gave you so much money for doing that, because they're everywhere on your pictures, you know. I was like, oh yeah, they paid a lot of money. Yeah. They didn't pay that much. They just gave me a good service, you know, and I wanted to thank them. That's it. I'm just gonna plug my light because my light turned off, and I just wanted to see me a little bit. Ugh. This is my equipment for my conferences online. Yes. You know, you see, it's like if I want to play Star Wars. You know? No. If not, we don't have enough light. So that's why I have those. Oh my God. Okay. It fell down.
Now, Mylene, we could talk forever, and
we
will talk more afterwards. But
yeah, I'm sure.
Did you see any wildlife when you were out there?
Yeah. Oh God, I didn't prepare pictures for that. Sorry, I saw some whales. Well, not some, but quite a few whales. 3 different sharks. They were not big sharks, but I was sure they were sharks, you know. The first shark, it was really amazing because I saw a couple of fish getting out of the waves like this, like jumping out the waves, and I was like, oh, I heard it's a funny sound, like it does like tuk, 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 tuk. It's difficult to express. It's tuk, 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 and it goes back in the water and tuk, 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 and you can see a bunch of fish like trying to get out of the waves and the water, and you're just like, oh my God, it's just there. And I saw a big black mass underneath the water, and just like, and one of these fish got eaten by the shark, and I was, oh my God, I saw 2 or 3 teeth, and I was, oh my God, it's amazing. It was a National Geographic movie in front of me. And I saw a flying fish as well. I received some of my head. Yes. It's not really fun because it's really smelly. It doesn't smell good at all. And there's some glue on them, and it's not really attractive. I'm just gonna stop the share, the share screen, and I saw some whales. No, not some, but quite a bunch of whales. Let's say pilot whales. In French, we say globicéphale. Yeah, not pilot whale. They are, you know, the one that looks like belugas, but they're black. Are they pilot whales in English? I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's pilot whales. Okay. Yeah, it's a whale that maybe measures 7 meters, much more, a little bit like my boat, sometimes 8 meters, and they live in groups of whales. So sometimes I saw those whales, 2 different groups during the crossing, and for a week or 2 I can meet those whales every like 6 or 8 hours. It was amazing to be in their bunch of the group of whales.
Wow, what an experience. Must have been nice to have some company.
And dolphins as well, and birds everywhere.
Birds everywhere, really, the whole way.
It's a storm petrels. Apparently those storm petrels just get on land once a year. It's to do babies, and so they slept on my boat as well. Oh, now it's the other one. No.
Melanie, have you always been into these types of activities? Did you have some kind of hero as a kid, or somebody somebody who inspired you or motivated you to pursue such experiences?
Well, when I was young, I never thought that I would be able to do something like this. I never think about it. So both of my parents were quite amazing in sports. So probably I wanted to be like my mother. She was doing she was a judoka. She was doing judo and competitions and diving and nautical ski. I don't know,
Yeah.
in the back of my dad's boat,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and she was
Wonderful.
in good shape. And so I think I just wanted to be like my mother at some point. Yeah. And she was really muscles and she was in good shape, doing push-ups every morning. And yeah, she was a nice
She must be
influence
quite
for me.
proud of you.
Yeah, and both of my parents are alpine skiers, so they
Okay.
met because of ski as well, and they ski so much during the winter. So I think I wanted to be exactly like them as well, but I don't ski that much. I prefer to row. Yeah.
You're a water person. I understand. Now, my last question for you for tonight is, I'm curious, and I think a lot of people here are tonight. How has being a woman shaped your experience, and what would you like to see change regarding female participation in grand adventures?
Yeah. How being a woman helped me or served me in a certain way, it's with the media. I think it helped me to be a woman, just because it was strange, because sometimes they presented me like, oh, I present you some people, a person here. She's here to talk about her, like, it's our expedition, and it's a woman. It's like if being a woman would be like really impressive, and like, okay, she's gonna row, she's rowing an ocean, she's going solo, and she's a woman. It's like really impressive to be a woman. It was strange a bit to be presented this way,
Yeah.
but I think as well that it served me a little bit, because um, being a woman was sexy, was like, okay, there's somebody who's doing that and she's a woman, it's amazing. So I think I grabbed the media attention because I was a woman, and sometimes it was good because of the attention, and because of my sponsors and the people I can like influence with that trip. But I think that sometimes it was how can I say that? It was superficial to be a woman. I'm just doing what I would like to do. That's it. And as well, when when they ask me questions, it's like if being a woman, I need to explain and to express why I'm doing that, and I need to justify that dream in front of the media or different companies or people I asked to have sponsorship from. So it's like if being a woman was not normal to do so. It's not a field really like common for women.
It is dominated by
Yeah,
males. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like if
But does it need to
uh,
be really? Does it really need to be?
no,
No.
there's yeah. And in somehow people would ask me like, you don't want to have kids? It's like super personal. How
That's none of your
come?
business.
Yeah, we're talking about a rowing expedition. It's like no man I know would have been asked those questions. You don't want to have kids? I'm sure you would not, like, people don't ask you stuff like that, like in the media or during conference or during like a presentation, like, you don't want to have kids, like, you're not happy with kids, why do you want to do that? And there's some people, I must say that those people were really old, so maybe they were not really open-minded. But some people said to me, "You like girls, huh? You don't like men. You like girls, huh? You're a lesbian." I was like, "What? What?" I'm sure not a man would be asked like, "You're gay? Are you gay because you're doing like dance and stuff like that?" It's amazing how the people can, like, it's like if you are done, you are made for having kids and a family, so it's what you owe to the society, and while you're doing that you're not having kids, and so why you don't like kids? It's really strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I must say to the lady and the girls and the women who wants to do such an adventure or different kind of adventure, that they needed, those women need to put that aside and to find something positive about that. Let's say that when somebody asked me like, you don't want kids? And I was just thinking, okay, I will have kids later on, and I will have both lives, you know, being adventurous and being a mother. And it's not something you do and you have to choose between kids and family and adventures. You can do both. So when I've been asked those kind of questions, I was thinking, okay, so let's try to find something positive about it and transform it and share my trip and my passion differently, to reach those people who think that I must stay home and have kids. So I think the lady and the woman and the people, the woman who wants to row or to accomplish themselves in adventures, needs to stay focused and stay positive about even the bad comments and they just need to be to feed themselves about those bad comments and to see the bright side of it. Yeah.
Right.
If not, it's not going to help them. Yeah.
Right. Right. Focus on the positive, move forward,
Yeah.
and stay true to your own goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say that every time I've been asked those strange questions, I was like, okay, this is why I'm doing that. It's to change their minds.
Right.
So it gave me like the permission to go further in that perspective and in that adventure.
And it would, maybe in a way, it would empower you more and say, okay, well, I can change these people's minds. I can be the example and show them.
Exactly.
I'll show them why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me think of one of the first conference I gave after the rowing expedition. There was an old man. It was for Premier Tech in Quebec, a company, an engineering company from Quebec or South Shore of near Gaspésia,
Yeah.
and Premier Tech. So there were like 100 people in the room, and we were on Charlevoix, and I was on the stage, and there was an old man like. He should have his retire party the day after that or something like this, and he was asking, like, at the end of my conference, he was really tall, and he stand up at the question period, and he said, I have a question. I said, yes, okay, sir, go ahead. He said, why did you do that? And I was like, okay. So I did that because I wanted to accomplish myself. I wanted to know me better, and the ocean was there, and I wanted to get there to live a good adventure, and I wanted to share that adventure. And there's a sick lady, young lady that influenced me to go to go and confront my fears, and I was giving him so much reason why I did that. So he sat down and he stand up again, and he said, I don't understand, explain me more. I was like, okay, this is not enough for me, explain me why you did that. I don't understand why you put you in such trouble. I don't understand, why did you do that? This is not enough for me. I was like, okay, I think let's say that it's a piece of art, and you go to museum and there's an artist who did that piece of art, and you're just like, wow, it's a white piece of art, and you don't need a reason to do that piece of art, and the people just think of that art and they say like, wow, it's nice, and the artist has a good technique to do that, and it's like a piece of art. Do you understand? And he said no, and he stand up again, and the people in the room were like, oh my God, can you stop? And then third time he stand up and he said, I don't understand, this is not a good reason. So I said, you know why I'm here? I'm here because your boss asked me to come here to share my story with you guys, to open your mind. That's why I'm here. And he was like, okay, and people applauded. And I was so mad. I was like, oh, you don't understand that. This is why I did that. And I was like super warm and really like, oh my God, annoyed. And my heartbeat was like, how can I answer that man? And from that first conference after my crossing, I would say to myself, do not leave anybody play with my confidence while I'm on stage. I have the control. This is my boat here. And what I'm going to say is what I want to say. And do not disturb me. And I have the right to be here and to share my story. So today I thank that man because I think of him, and I'm sure it's been like 7 years ago. So probably you don't remind me, but I think of him and I say that man was not, he was naughty, he was not good with me, he was not, but he helped me, to find my true self on stage. And since then, I gave maybe 800 conferences or 700, and I thought of him quite a few times in 7 years. Yeah, and
And
I
that
thank
really
him.
just shows, it really shows me and everybody else the amount of resilience you have as a person to be able to see such an experience with this man.
Thank you.
Which could be a negative experience, but to turn it around and see the silver lining and see it in a positive light in a way that you could use to change the minds of others, but also to reinforce your own beliefs.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, very strong of you.
Thank you. And I don't talk about that story, that I didn't talk about that often. And every time I'm like, so thank you for listening to me, to that.
Well,
Yeah.
Mylène, thank you for coming in and sharing all of these stories with all of us. It's been truly has been an honor. And I think you
Thank
really
you.
have inspired many, many people tonight to
Thank
take a
you so
chance
much.
to go out.
And I must say thank you to everyone in Halifax, because while I was there preparing my boat to get fit and to get ready for the ocean, there were so many people who came to take pictures, and to, the people from the media, the Weather Network and people like that, Radio-Canada, CBC, and they were really in it for my trip, and they were cheering me up at the beginning of the trip. The rowing club from Halifax, they were there, they paddled with me for the first hours. So thank you for the people from Halifax, because they were really in it. Yeah. And Dartmouth as well, just in front of Dartmouth. Is that?
Of course,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure to share that with you tonight.
Are you okay if I share your website with everybody? And
yeah, for
is there
sure.
any closing
Yeah.
notes you want to say? Is there?
Yeah. Oh, and I give conference to schools and to different companies, and so just contact me. And if you need anything, I can adapt my messages. And normally in my conference, I talk about attitude, about in French we say séduire le changement, which is to séduire. How do we say? When you meet someone, you're on a date and you're trying to seduce somebody. So I like to say to seduce the change, because I seduce during my crossing. I faced an hurricane named Umberto, and I was making joke out of it, like, Umberto, is he single, and blah blah blah. So we made so much fun out of this, and I think that with sense of humor, you can face anything. So I talk about attitude, sense of humor, because I'm feared of water, so we didn't speak about that, but we didn't talk about that, but. And I talk about the ego as well. So those are many different topics that I share in my conferences. And yeah, so I would be really, I would be keen to visit you in schools and through Zoom. Yes, because
Perhaps maybe one day down the road, not so long from now, we can get you back out to Halifax and we can do this again in real life.
Oh, it would be a pleasure, really.
Great.
A real pleasure to come back to Halifax.
Well, thank you very much, Mylène.
Thank you so much. Have a nice evening, everyone. Bye-bye.